Hey everybody, welcome to today's show. Welcome to Equality and Rights for All. I'm your host, Anthony Lorito-Duke. And we have a great topic for today's show, in which it's the Defense Protection Act of 1950. And um, this is something that uh, Trump should have enacted a long time ago. And this would definitely help in this war against the coronavirus. Okay. And let me first stipulate, uh, well, inform everybody, especially those who don't know, what exactly is the Defense Protection Act of 1950. Okay. It's a United States federal law that was enacted on September 8th, 1950, in response to the start of the Korean War. It was a part of a broad civil defense and war mobilization effort in the context of the Cold War. It's implementing regulations, the defense priorities and allocation system. Uh, it's located within the law. Since 1950, the act has been reauthorized over 50 times. It has been periodically amended and remains in force. The act contains three major sections. The first authorizes the president to require businesses to accept and prioritize contracts for materials deemed necessary for national defense, regardless of a loss incurred on businesses. It also allows the president to designate materials to be prohibited from hoarding or price gouging. And the second section authorizes the president to establish mechanisms to allocate materials, services, and facilities to promote national defense. The third section authorizes the president to control the civilian economy so that scarce and critical materials necessary for the national defense effort are available for defense needed. Uh, the act also authorizes the president to requisition property, force industry to expand production and the supply of basic resources, impose wage and price controls, settle labor disputes, control consumer and real estate credit, establish contractual priorities, and allocate raw materials towards national defense. So this would really help in forcing companies to make the products needed, like ventilators, masks, gloves, gowns, beds, whatever. So, in order for, to help hospitals out, to help 911 responders out, everybody that's on the front line in fighting this virus, Trump should have enacted this law a long time ago. And the Pentagon has admitted that they have a stockpile full of uh, masks and stuff like that. And the reason why they didn't distribute it out was because of, you ready for this? They weren't given the authorization to do so, and to tell them where to send these supplies to. Now, New York right now is the hardest hit state, especially in New York City. Okay, and uh, it's a proven fact. Now, um, so far, uh, there has been discussions about that the um, Trump administration has been uh, making contracts with certain companies and stuff like that, and to make these supplies. But here's the problem. Here's the problem with that. For the states that are not fully, like, really infected right now with major cases, okay, that's fine. That because these companies are saying that within a month or what or 2 months or whatever it is that they can get these products made and distributed. Fine. That's for those states, you know, that do not have major cases right now. States like New York, supposedly within another couple of weeks, by the 15th maybe, the apex part of this virus would have reached its limit, and that's when stuff is really going to be hitting the ceiling, and that's when the supplies are really going to be needed, especially if it's within the state of New York. And we can't wait a month, 2 months for these supplies, you know. So the governor of New York is doing a miraculous job in creating uh, hospitals to get the spaces needed, in preparation for you know the apex to really hit. And um, so far, I mean, the supplies that's in New York right now are only good for like 6 days. Like the ventilators, they're only good for 6 days, and that's not long at all. And there's a very, very short supply, and there's PPEs needed, like gowns, gloves, masks. It's severely needed especially in the state of New York, and it's needed now. And um, there's been some help from Washington, from the White House and stuff like that, but it's not nearly as enough as needed for the state of New York. And whatever we whatever New York gets, of course, people are appreciative, but we've also got to look at the statistics and the facts, you know. So, um, and it's got to be really fast. Let's just say if the apex part of the virus hits by the 15th of April, really, if it really hits New York by then, you know, that's just really like within 2 more weeks. We're really going to need a miracle of, you know, proper amount of ventilators and beds and the PPEs. So, this is not a joke. And people also have to understand that they have to do their part too. Our politicians are doing, I'm not too sure about Trump, but the governor of New York is doing the best that he can with what he's got. And people have to do their part. If you really want to um, help the situation, I think I said this in last week's show too. You really want to keep your kids safe, keep your family safe. Here's the things: you gotta have social distancing. Keep 6 feet away, at least 6 feet away, from when talking to people face to face. If you're really gonna go out in public, wear masks and gloves. You know, don't panic. Stop overstocking on things that for people who go to the supermarkets and whatever, and one person taking uh 20 pieces of the same item, like taking 20 bags of toilet paper. Come on, use your brain. Other people have to, use these items too. You're going to make a shortage for other people. You don't need 20 bags of toilet paper for you and for just you and your family. Come on, all right. And um, if you cough and sneeze, you know, do it on the inside part of your arm, on the inside part of the elbow, meaning not in your hands, not in the back of your hands. You see a lot, people even thinking that it's funny, when their kids to sneeze in their hands and they wipe their nose with their hands, or they cough or sneeze on other people. I mean, you gotta use your goddamn brain. Discipline your children, okay? And I've been seeing this so many times that idiots are, uh, you know, out in public, and they want to be in, uh, you know, hanging out with 50 people and stuff like that. And there was a video going around showing uh, a Jewish young kid, coughing on people. Seriously. And he was with a group of other Jewish people, and thinking that it's a funny joke. Seriously. And luckily, the governor of New York just shut down all playgrounds. Okay. And the mayor of New York made it a rule that for uh, people who are not obeying the rules of social distancing, all right, and hanging out in groups, of multiple people. His new rule is uh, police are going to be out there, and if you get caught, okay, give it a warning the first time. If you disobey it after that, it's a fine from anywhere from 250 to $500. So that's an excellent thing. I like that combination. All right, I love that combination. And this is unfortunately how we have to treat people. We have no choice because you got stupid people out there. And the other thing is, wash your hands. Wash your hands. Teach your kids this too. Seriously, use hand sanitizers as well, and wear masks now. So, um, because this is no joke, ladies and gentlemen, it's not. And so now you guys know what the Defense Protection Act of 1950 is, and um, luckily here in New York, we've had some good news that uh, the amount of people being discharged from the hospital uh, due to, from when they're going in, due to this coronavirus thing, the amount of discharges has increased, and that's a good sign. That's a good sign. And so, if people just did their part as well, we can get a handle on this coronavirus situation quicker. It's just a matter of plucking the brain out from the ass, start to use your intelligence for once in your pathetic lives, and listen the first time when people speak to you, and stop complaining about everything. Be grateful for what you have. That's another thing that this stay at home situation should be teaching people. Be grateful for what you do have, all right? And for those who can work from home, be grateful because not everybody has that luxury. So, with that, um, I hope to speak to everybody again tomorrow, which is Friday, April 3rd for Disabled Reality. And I hope to speak to everybody again next week, next Thursday, which is April 9th for this show, Equality and Rights for All. And so, with that, take care, everybody. Bye.